Hey everybody, it's Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com. Today I'm going to show how to change the tail and brake light bulb and individual license plate illumination bulb on a Vespa LX50, LX150, or even further back to the ET2 and ET4. We have these bulbs available, so if your brake light or tail light is out, it uses this larger bulb with a bayonet style base and 2 contacts. The Scooter West part number on this is 12V521CL. So 12V521CL is a quality replacement bulb for the brake light. Oftentimes you'll just have either the tail light out or the brake light out. And definitely want to fix those as an interest of safety. Not as important, but also a good idea to have changed, because some law enforcement will pick on you sometimes for not having a license plate illumination. So if your light isn't illuminating a license plate, you're going to need a 12V194 replacement bulb. And this pretty much fits the ET range, the Vespa LX. So pretty much Vespa sold in North America from 2001 all the way up to 2014. They pretty much use these pair of bulbs to do the illumination on the backside of the scooter. So let's get right to it. I'll first of all turn the scooter on, show you the brake light doesn't work. And I know the scooter starts because when you pull the brake lever in, it will start, so we know the switches are working. You can certainly do it while it's on. I recommend doing it while it's off, but just to show you. You got a pair of screws that retain the lens, whether it's a Vespa S150, LX50, ET2, ET4. This is the way they did it in the old days. The Primaveras, Sprints, all the GTS, GT200, they're all completely different. So at this point, you could pull the lens. Sometimes if you haven't had it removed in a while, it may be a little tricky. And located behind the lens is a socket. Just turns counterclockwise, maybe 1/8 of a turn, and then you're able to pull the bulb out. So obviously watch out when it's on, because it's gonna be a little hot. Nothing's gonna go wrong. You also wanna look at these contacts in there. If they do look a little tarnished, like these ones, you may wanna get in there and scrape the contacts. And you can certainly just use something like a screwdriver, get in there with sandpaper. It's just always a good idea to do so. And then you wanna take the bulb, and you can see one pin is lower than the other pin, so it only goes in one way. If you put it in this way, see, it doesn't go down. If it's correct, it will go down in, and you push it and then just turn it like less than 1/8 of a turn. So now it's in there tight. And then before you install it, go ahead and check the operation. So the brake light now operates when you pull the brake lever. And then go ahead and install that. It's got a rubber seal that kind of seals the whole lens and bulb from the elements. And another important tip is when you put the screws back in, do not over tighten these screws. I would just start by putting each of them in, leave it loose. And since it's a plastic lens, the problem with the screws, it can generate a tremendous amount of torque and crack the plastic lens pretty easy. I mean, this lens is a little bit beat up. And just right when the screw stops, that's as far as you need to go. Enough where it just holds the lens and it's nice and tight. So the next bulb that we're gonna replace is the license plate light. And I can tell you that's not working. Normally you see a little candlelight kind of glow coming from this little assembly right here. So directly behind this section is the bulb socket. And it's a rubber bulb socket. So you wanna reach back here, it may be kind of dirty. Wiggle the bulb socket, and it gives you enough clearance to pull it all the way out. And just wiggle the bulb until it pulls out of the rubber socket. And you can see the pair of brass contacts in there, or copper contacts. This wedge bulb just pushes right in place. And just like the brake and tail light, you want to check the operation, make sure it's working before you reinstall it. It's not flickering. If it flickers a little bit, you may want to clean the socket and just push it all the way back in place. One thing you do not want this bulb to pull out and get entangled with the rear tire, because it typically will damage it. So now your license plate light is working. So As a scooterist and you know you keep your scooter and ride at night, it's always a good idea just to have these bulbs on hand. So maybe you do an order for all the materials to do a service, an oil change, or some accessories. You may look up those 2 bulb part numbers. They're very, very inexpensive. Just add them to your order and at least you have the peace of mind of having them. Last thing you want to be out is riding at night and no tail light and it's pitch black out on the back of the scooter, or even having no brake lights. Very dangerous. You hit the brakes and may get rear-ended and you may be at fault because your brake light wasn't working, and that's the rider's responsibility to know that your brake light's working. Here at Vespa Motorsport, I have my service techs always check all the lighting equipment on every scooter that comes through here during the normal multi-point inspection. So we do that for our customers because many of them just don't even know when their lights are out. Sometimes they don't even know their headlights out because they never ride at night. Thanks for watching. This is Robot here from Scooter West and Vespa Motorsport. I know it's a simple video, but I sure figure it will help some people that have no idea how you change out these bulbs, or maybe you're just curious. Maybe give you an idea to get some bulbs. Until next time, ride safe. Consider subscribing if you haven't. Hit the like button, always helps us out.